Thanks for joining us on your channel of choice at this time, Africa Independent Television, AIT. Welcome to Focus Nigeria Friday edition of the program. My name is Benga Aruleba. Let me quickly take you through the events shaping the polity at the moment. 30 new senior advocates of Nigeria will join the ranks of that revered club of lawyers when the new legal year opens in September. The 30 new seats were announced in Abuja on Thursday by the Registrar of the Supreme Court, Adijatu Mustafa. Among the lucky lawyers are popular Lagos lawyer Festus Keyamo, younger brother of the acting president Akinlolu Osinbajo, former PDP national legal advisor and governorship candidate in the last governorship election in Ondo State, Chief Olushola Ogeh. A special advisor in the Federal Ministry of Justice, Professor Deji Adekunle, and the Attorney General of Kwara State, Kamaruddin Ajibade.
The 36 are lawyers from the academic community, by name Professor Adekunle and 3 other people from the academia. We have 27 courtroom advocates that were so elevated. 1 female was appointed. She is number 16 on the list. For the first time ever, this is the first time that we have a highest number of 4 academic lecturers that were successful in the interview.
30 new senior advocates, only 1 of them a female. Well, the lady lawyers will need to up their game. I know a couple of them that are very good, but I don't know whether they are the ones not applying for this title. Anyway, the new senior advocates were picked from a list of 156 that originally applied. They will be sworn in on September 18 when the new legal year begins. Still from the court proper now, the embattled senator representing Kogi West Senatorial District, Dino Melaye, may have secured a reprieve on Thursday. I said may. A federal high court in Abuja, according to his lawyer, Mike Ozekome, granted his request stopping INEC from proceeding with the process until his case has been determined. But reports from some sections of the media this morning is to the fact that, well, the contrary is what actually took place. Justice John Soho, according to Michael Zekome, ordered INEC to maintain or to stop the exercise. If you know what we hear is that it is to maintain the status quo, but whatever that means. But that was after listening to his ex parte application, which, as I said, was not granted.
The INEC has taken some steps. It's asking that those steps be reversed. But the court said it's not going to give, it was not going to give a restraining order specifically as he asked for, but a general order that INEC should not do anything as of today.
Their first step of verification was to start on the 10th of this month, which is just 4 days from now. God bless the judiciary. What Justice So did today was to put a break to that illegal, that unlawful, that illegitimate, that unconstitutional process of recalling Senator Dino Melaye. So the court granted a preservative order restraining INEC from going on further with any matter concerning this recall process.
Trust Michael Zekome to always add his own to it. My understanding, or according to sources, what actually happened was that the court refused to grant an injunction, but the court directed that the status quo be maintained. Now, the status quo is what? That's where the confusion sets in. And that's what probably has given the leeway to Michael Zekome to interpret it his own way. But I'm sure the court should be conscious of the fact that this process is on a timeline. Once a petition was submitted, which had taken place, INEC has within 90 days to complete the exercise. Now, the court adjourning to October, whatever, for me, is where the problem is. Even after saying that the status quo should be maintained, Will it be that the judge is not aware that a recall process is guided by timelines? It's open to INEC to pick all of that up, but I am sure that INEC is very proactive and all of that. And lastly, all is set for tomorrow's by-election in Osun West Senatorial District to pick a successor to Senator Isiaka Adeleke, who died in April. One of the two leading candidates is Ademola Adeleke, younger brother of the late senator and former governor. Ademola was in the APC up until about 3 weeks ago or so, but he had to decamp to the PDP after his bid to pick up the party's ticket was thwarted by some hawks within the APC. He will be slugging it out with a former senator and now commissioner in Osun State, Mudashiru Hussein. For tomorrow's by-election, there are 10 local governments in Osun West Senatorial District, 110 wards, a total of 911 polling units. The district has a total registered number of 426,603 voters, according to INEC records, even though the official population of Osun State is 1,104,110. Now, turnout in the last general elections in 2015 in that senatorial district in particular was 231,975 voters, representing 52.8%, one of the highest turnouts recorded in the 2015 general elections. As I said, tomorrow's by-election will be a straight fight between the APC that is fielding Mudashiru Husseini and the PDP that is now fielding a former APC member, Ademola Adeleke, younger brother of the late senator. One of the sentiments that will count in Ademola's favor is that people are arguing that he should be allowed to finish his elder brother's tenure as a mark of respect for the late flamboyant politician, and that sentiment runs very deep and it can count for something tomorrow. But the APC, on the other hand, is the party in power, both in the state and at the federal level, and its power of incumbency can also not be discounted. So the two candidates are evenly matched, and the pendulum could swing in any of the two sides. Right, these are the major events that had happened in the last 24 hours or so. Our discussion is up next. This morning we are back in Rivers State. This time, a member of the State House of Assembly, in actual fact, the spokesperson of the State House of Assembly in his capacity as the chairman House Committee on Information, the member representing Emoha State Constituency, Honourable Samuel Ogeh, will be joining me for this morning's discussions.
They see chaos and conflicts. We see community action for good governance. They see poverty and want. We see perseverance and the will to go on. They see economic law. We see the ingenuity and creative spirit of our people. We are AIT News, fresh, authentic views of Africa. How would you rather see the world? AIT News, all sides, all the time. They see chaos and conflicts. We see community action for good governance. They see poverty and want. We see perseverance and the will to go on. They see economic law. We see the ingenuity and creative spirit of our people. We are AIT News, fresh, authentic views of Africa. How would you rather see the world? AIT News, all sides, all the time.
Okay, if you're just joining us, a very warm welcome to you. We are starting this morning's conversation now, and like I said in the intro, we are back to Rivers State this morning. Honourable Samuel Ogeh is joining me for this morning's discussions. Honourable, good to see you.
Nice meeting you, Mr.
Honourable Ogeh is the member representing Emoha State Constituency in Rivers State House of Assembly. He is the spokesperson to the House, Chairman House Committee on in his capacity as Chairman House Committee on Information. Not only that, Honourable Ogeh has also been a former Chairman Caretaker Committee of Emoha Local Governments. Good to see you. You've seen it all in the executive, or almost all. Now you are playing in the legislative house. How has it been?
Well, by the grace of God, it's been nice. It's an experience.
You are a first timer in the legislative house.
Yes, this is my first time in the house.
Okay. That Emo State constituency. That's the same constituency that Honourable Chidi Lloyd occupied, ba?
Very correct.
I'm correct.
Very correct.
So you took over from him.
Yes.
Okay. So how
I
has it been?
defeated him in the election.
You did?
I did.
I thought he sought election for a higher position.
No.
In the last election.
He contested against me on the platform of APC, and he was roundly defeated.
When you say roundly, was he tested at the courts?
He did.
He went to court
twice.
Okay,
the election held
twice. Yeah. The first election was nullified.
Nullified. We went back for the second election, and he was defeated.
How the belief is that a lot of things took place in the last election or in the series of elections that have taken place in Rivers State since 2015, and that's the ongoing trial of some INEC officials that conducted the election in Rivers State. I think yesterday about 23 or so of them appeared in court for receiving gratification from the state governor. Wouldn't that buttress the claim that that something untoward happened in the elections?
Well, Benga, first, this matter, the matter you just mentioned is in court, and I don't think we have the competence to discuss the matter already in court. But I will not run away from the question you asked. It's been the narrative of the opposition in our state. They have always, each time they lose elections, they have always raised alarm, gave one reason or the other why they lose in every election. 2015, you'll agree with me, what we heard and what Nigerians were told was that there was no election at all in Rivers State. Election didn't hold. What held was a sham, this and that and that. We went to court. The court looked at the petitions, nullified some elections, and asked
nullified
so many elections.
Yeah.
Nullified so many. And we were asked to go back for a rerun. We went back, and the situation and result was not different. It was not different. Let me remind you, 2015, they said all manner of things. The former president influenced the outcome of the election. At least our leader then, Governor Ogeh now, was not in government.
He was?
He was not in government. No, he resigned and contested. So as at the time the election...
but he was in government up until some few months before the election.
Agreed. But they were in government. We had a sitting governor that oversaw the election. Now, the storyline there was that...
Did he oversee the election? Because
he was the governor of the state.
But he had no control of the apparatus of government that were responsible,
which is in parentheses. No control is in parentheses.
As a sitting governor, he was not in control of security. If he was in control of security...
let's not argue over that so that
because we are talking of facts, events that happened.
Okay, let's say he was the sitting governor as at the time. He was the sitting governor as at the time the election held.
If he had control of security, will a police commissioner...
I will get to that.
Will a police commissioner stop him
I will get to that. Now, he said he wasn't in charge of the security, and the outcome of the election, you know it. Now, events turned around. Yeah. He became the minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and had all the mercenaries of government and another election. And the results did not change.
Mm-hmm. That's what I want us to address. Why was that possible? Well, isn't it curious that a government that was in power up onto how many months before that second election and was loved by the people, so to say, will suddenly lose election so woefully?
So woefully.
Yes. What do you think was responsible? That's what I'm asking.
That you can tell anybody, any discerning mind, is that APC is not on ground in our state. That is the truth. You have just answered the question. APC is not on ground, not only in Rivers State, But as far as almost all the South states,
Except Edo.
Except Edo State. So if anybody comes on air to say we are this way, and of course, let me tell you, when the former governor came to the state to participate in that election, he boasted that he had everything it takes to win the election, and the result didn't change. We had
But last week, the Election Petition Tribunal nullified the election of a PDP senator, upheld one, and confirmed the election of the only APC senator. So right now, technically, the APC has 2 senatorial districts,
Benga,
and your party has one.
We will wait until the outcome of the
Final level.
The final level, and of course, what we heard about that verdict is anything to go by.
What did you hear about it?
We hear that the panel of judges that presided over the election decided to undermine the result presented to them by INEC, and instead relied on their decision on result presented by the police. Benga, you and I know that the police has no business in conduct of election in our country. You and I know that. But let's leave that.
The panel discounted the result.
The result of the INEC and relied on the photocopy result, uncertified photocopy result presented by the police.
How did that happen? If the same tribunal also upheld the election
That
of the
is
PDP
what
senator?
that is what we are challenging at the Court of
Because
Appeal.
I'm wondering why the same panel that you are complaining about now also gave you victory in another senatorial district. Affirmed the election of what's his name now?
That is the double standard we are challenging. If you said, look, INEC is the sole body responsible for conduct of election, of course, you know that conduct of election is a process.
Mm-hmm.
It's a process that terminates at the declaration of results.
Yeah.
And if you say that the only body in this country that has the power to conduct election is INEC, it follows that INEC is the only institution or body that you can rely on whatever they give you as a result, and no other institution. And of course, I don't know if you have anything to the contrary. We have not seen in our electoral law where the police has any role to play with respect to the result of elections. That is one of the things we are going on to challenge. And we are very sure that it will be upturned.
Okay. Let's talk about the relationship between your assembly, that's the River State House of Assembly, and the executive. How cordial is it, or how true is the information that somehow some of you or all of you in the House have access to grind with the governor because he has neglected your welfare, he's not carrying you along, he's running the government as if only the executive.
Did anybody complain to you?
I'm asking you that because you are here now.
We have not.
I've not seen any member of the House. You are the first I'm seeing.
Yes,
That's what
we are not complaining. We have not also complained. Okay. And whatever thing you are saying, you must situate it within the economic situation in the country. Now, if anybody says assembly is shouting, let him show where assembly shouted or where some members of the assembly shouted. Also state the subject of disagreement. Say we have this thing to grind. We have how did you put it? Axe to grind. Let him tell us the subject matter. You don't cry more than the bereaved. You wait for us. As far as I remain the chairman of the House Committee on Information, we have an excellent relationship with the executive. Well, that does not mean that we can't perform our oversight functions. That is what.
Are you in the pocket of the governor?
No.
Because governors are believed to have overbearing influence on their legislature.
Pocket of in terms of what?
In terms of that you are not able to seriously hold the executive to account. For instance, the last budget that the governor presented was more or less rubber stamped because within 48 hours it was passed.
So, can you confirm that, or that is what you heard? The budget process went through the normal process. I can tell you that. We don't have a timeline.
And you completed the process within 48 hours?
No, it is not also correct that it was passed within 48 hours. What our rule says, our rule has laid down procedures from so stage to so stage. And so in some extreme cases, we can stand out some of these rules. And possibly we may have done that. But for anybody to tell you that it was rubber stamped or it was passed in less than 48 hours, that's just being mischievous. And you see, in River State, so many things fly. So many rumors fly. People do politics on air rather than coming home to do the politics. Rather than coming home to mobilize our people, they come to Abuja, come to studio to say all manner of lies. That is the situation in River State.
How safe is River State to play politics, really?
Well,
just yesterday, there was a report that 2 lawyers were kidnapped in, what's the name of that place? On their way from Abuja, and they were kidnapped, and they were said to be members or officers of the Judiciary Staff Union of
well,
Nigeria.
as at yesterday, I was here. I was there as at yesterday.
So you are not aware of that?
I can't say.
Yeah, but let's talk generally about the state of security in River State. All those court killings. This week, I saw the picture on social media of a man described as a youth leader who was killed in cold blood. There have been reports of court killings and all of that. What is responsible for all of this?
Let me tell you this. You say it's good that you raised this issue. It had been a problem to me, and I tried to see if I could get a call across to you to ask certain questions. Now the opportunity has provided itself. Benga, what is happening in River State is something that can happen to any other place.
Or indeed happening in other states?
In the whole world. Violence or any of these acts or actions that is going on in River State is taking the same shape and going on in almost everywhere. Violence didn't start, it's not indigenous to River State. It is a universal phenomenon. Violence, in fact, dates back to the days of Cain and Abel. It has been like that up till today. And no country will tell you that it is immune from violent activities. No. So now what happens in River State is that any slightest thing that happens in the state is blown out of proportion for political gains. Now, having said that, I would also like to tell you that whatever the violence that they are claiming, that they are blowing out of proportion, didn't start with this present administration. It predates this administration. Benga, you will recall that period of 2007, our state, sadly so, our state, people were raising up their hands while walking in the street because of security pressure trying to checkmate the activities of some youth. The result was just, the reason was just that some group of young men constituted themselves into cult groups and were just battling for space and authority. As at that time, nobody attributed it to any political party. In fact, all of us were in PDP. Nobody attributed it to any political party. And within that period, elections were contested, won and lost. And those who lost the election went back to prepare for the next election. But what is going on in the state now is that some persons have refused to know that election is a contest. They feel that they must win every election. And if they lose the election, they attribute it to violence in the state and blow it out of proportion. Mark my words, I didn't say that all is well in River State. But I want to tell you that what is going on in River State is a miniature of what is going on in Lagos State. Only very recently, we heard about Evans and all his escapades. In fact, one amount of money Evans collected, about $1 million. If you put together what was said to have been collected from kidnappers in River State, it can't go half.
Which is why people are suggesting that there's a difference between that and what is happening in Lagos. Whereas what is happening in Lagos may be urban crime that is financially driven. What is happening in Rivers, on the other hand, is politically driven. That
is what I am telling you. People blow it. Benga, you have your people in River State.
Because in Lagos, they kidnap and ask for money. So it is economic.
Let me tell you.
But in Rivers, they don't ask for
They kidnap
ransom,
and
they
kill.
kill.
They kill.
Yeah,
Can you give me instances of those you
I
have?
just mentioned that during
Let
the
me
week
tell
there
you.
was a picture of a man that was described as a youth leader in one of the local governments who was shot dead.
I forgot to come with an online report that tabulates the crime rates in different states. Rivers
Rivers
State
is not
is
ranking
nowhere close to Lagos State. I forgot. I would have come with it. Rivers State is an online publication. I forgot to come with it. I would have come with it. If I had known that you would have insisted on this point, I would have come with it. What I am telling you is that what is going on in the state is that there are bad losers. People, I'm not saying that there are no cult activity. There are. You can't rule that. You can't rule that out.
Okay, what is the government, the state government, doing on its own to? Because again, the difference between Lagos and Rivers is that the Lagos state government is seen by all to be doing something, and so is proactive.
Let me also tell you, Benga, unless people refuse to see what our state government is doing, unless people
Just go on, don't worry.
refuse to see what our state government is doing, I still maintain that what is going on in Rivers State is more of politics than the true state of things. Now, I have told you before this wicked administration came, everything that is going on in this state, in our state, had been there. There had been kidnappings, there had been killings. I remember high-profile killings. I remember a former member of Rivers State Assembly, in the person of Charles Nsebe, was murdered. I remember Chief Ignatius Ajuro, a former ambassador to Ukraine, was killed in our state. On a sad note, it is not something to be happy about. But the point I am making is that there had been in existence such situations, and nobody saw it as anything to use as a political propaganda. In fact, the current governor was shot. There was an assassination attempt. He escaped death by just in the heart of the town. No, when he was the chief of staff.
Okay.
Along Garrison, if you know Port Harcourt,
I know Garrison.
Garrison,
Yeah.
by Silver Valley.
Yeah.
His car was badly battered. These events had been there, and successive governments too have played their role. The difference between then and now is that nobody gave it any political coloration.
Okay.
Now we have a government that is in place, and the opposition didn't give the government any chance of making any meaningful progress. Now, and that is the reason why whatever is done in the state is downplayed to ensure that the world don't hear about it. Now, to answer your question, I stand to say that this government has done a little, by my own assessment, above average in terms of assisting the security agencies in combating crime. Benga, not too long, the AIG came to Port Harcourt and certified that Abubakar, what's his name? Abubakar.
I don't know who the current AIG in that
came
zone is.
and
now.
said that, and confirmed that the crime rate in Rivers State has reduced.
Okay.
This is not just mere words.
How long ago was that?
I can't be sure. I can't. Let me
But not too long
Not too long ago.
Okay.
Now, on the part of the government ensures that they give out all the logistics required to assist the security agencies in doing their work. Government has donated over 200 Hilux cars to the police, donated about 10 gunboats, and handed over to the police, to the security agents. He is not in charge of all this. He gives and ensure that he provides, at least he gives them the opportunity to operate. But there is one thing we experience in Rivers State: sabotage.
By who?
By those in opposition.
How so?
Yes, I'll tell you. Now, let's say this is my first time of visiting this place. I may not understand the workings of this place very well than you who have been here. And we have had the experience that if a police officer stays in our state and is making progress, he's transferred. I can tell you Rivers State is one state that they have experienced transfer of 6 commissioners within 2 years. And what is the reason for that transfer? It's not for non-performance. The reason for the transfer is that they see you are working with governor, you are pro-Wike, you are pro-PDP. They don't bother about the success the commissioner is recording in combating crime. And of course, you know that is the paramount reason why the police is there, to ensure the peace and security of the citizens. That doesn't matter to them. What matters to them is, did this commissioner answer Wike's greeting? Or did he look into his government, the intergovernment when he was driving past? That is what is important. If they suspect that for any reason, of course, how can a commissioner of police and will not hold security meetings with the governor? If they hear you're transferred, 6 commissioners of police. I'm not talking about all the rank and file who have been they have almost transferred all these police officers, and their only sin or crime is that they have stayed long here, they have been infected with Wike, blah, 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 blah. But they will retain those who are in their good books. Somebody like Akin Fakorode, who was captured in beating an INEC official. He is there.
Who is that? Who is it?
He is the SAS commander. Nobody touches him. He had never gone on transfer because he is the man who came to do the dirty job for PDP, to stop the collation of results. Beat up.
Dirty job for PDP.
APC now. He was the man who came to do the dirty job for APC, who was captured on screen, beating up INEC officials. In fact, a woman. Maybe he may. What happened that they may be given another definition, because that is what we hear now. People give different definitions to events. So what I'm saying is that the government has done enough. Okay, to combat crime, I want to tell you the seriousness of government on our own part. As the legislature, we started business after the proclamation of the assembly by the Excellency the Governor on 1st of June. And by 24th or 26th of July, we have amended the anti-kidnapping law, putting in place very stringent conditions to the effect that if your house is used to harbor kidnapped victim, yeah, the government has the law allows the government to pull down that house or confiscate it. So it's now left for you, a father or somebody who knows that, look, I stand the risk of losing my house, to report any.
When was that law passed?
2015.
Yeah, but since 2015, are you saying there has been no cases of kidnapping in Rivers State
just
for
like,
us to test the efficacy of that law?
Just like any other
because
state.
I'm not aware that any suspected kidnapper has been caught, and that this punishment provided by the law you just mentioned now was fully meted out of him.
Whose responsibility it is to
the state government? The
state or the security agents? Benga, no, now.
Okay, to arrest, you said?
And prosecute. It's not the responsibility of the lawmaker having put in place the mercenary. It's not my responsibility to go and arrest.
But the governor, to
and the governor, he didn't take the governor up to 1 week. He didn't take the governor up to 1 week to assent to that law.
I am not so sure that if the governor is fighting crimes like that any state commissioner will want to sabotage him, or any police officer.
I am telling you that state commissioners who are posted our state are not allowed to settle down to do their job. I have said that. Okay. In clear terms.
Still on the issue of security,
yeah.
Let's X-ray the one program that the governor also put in place when he came in, the crime rate was going up. The amnesty program. How will you rate the success of
very successful?
Because it's been suggested that we saw where people just coming with knives, pot of shams, and some rustic weapons
I
that
came
they-
here with a document presented, a report presented by the Amnesty
coordinator.
and of course, maybe they will,
Can you speak to the report? What is the achievement like? Has that program succeeded?
very successful. A total of 22,430 cultists and militants surrendered their arms.
22,000.
430 cultists and militants surrendered their arms and ammunition and publicly renounced cultism and crime.
22,000.
Yes.
That's to tell you that it's a serious enterprise in Rivers State. Cultism is a
Like
serious
any
enterprise.
other state. I have told you, there are more cases of kidnapping in Lagos than in Rivers State. You know that. You can't deny that fact.
The people who kidnap in Lagos are not from Lagos.
So how are you
Evans-
sure?
the
How are
Evans
you
of
sure?
this world.
How are you sure
The
that
Evans
those-
of this world came
all
from
the-
another state
half of the
to come and
kidnappers-
because Lagos is
Let me tell
lucrative.
you,
That's why
half
they are
of the
operating there.
kidnappers you hear operate
Rivers.
from outside. More than half.
Okay.
They come from neighboring states. You also cannot say, despite the economists saying that Port Harcourt is a dead state in terms of viability.
Now, no, it could be a fertile ground because of the militancy that has been associated with the Niger Delta region all along.
Well,
around of
Benga, you see, I speak with facts.
22,000. Let's continue with that.
Yes, you also find that a total of 911 assorted arms were retrieved.
Okay.
7,661 rounds of assorted ammunition were also received. About 147 explosives.
Okay.
But Benga, let me call your attention to something. This report is a report, you have no doubt, from the essay on amnesty, Honourable Chinda, who every person acknowledges is a gentleman. Now, I want to tell you that you can make your independent findings.
Chinda, is that the one that was formerly in the house?
No, this is another Chinda. You know,
Okay.
it's an equatorial name, so a lot of
There are so many Chindas in Rivers.
yeah, so many Chindas, so many families be at Chinda. Now, this program was done in collaboration with security agents.
Okay.
They have these reports and they are verifiable. In fact, the ammunitions that were destroyed, the destruction was carried out by military personnel, not civilians. So they can attest to these facts. So it's not a matter of somebody say, hey, they brought knives and cutlass and hoe. These are agencies of government, federal government agencies, for that matter, that you can walk up to by the provisions of the FOI. You can access some of this information. They have it. And they follow. What the state government did was simply to power the program, gave them the logistics. And of course, you and I know that if not for the commitment of the state government, they may not be able. Now, let me also tell you.
Okay.
Sabotage also came in.
How?
I will tell you. Sabotage also came in. Now, people saw the success of this thing. Rather than encouraging the government, they now started saying that, oh, they even started talking to the boys. Look, you see the wiki we are talking about? You see the wiki we are talking about? Wiki is simply a wicked man who has used the boys and has turned around to enact a law by the assembly. Not just stopping there, he is now bringing you out, collecting all his arms, because the governor just didn't stop at. The governor just didn't stop at collecting them. The governor ensured that if you fail to comply, that the security agents should do their work.
Come after you.
Yes, come
as
after
a
you.
criminal.
Oh, that's a political. Oh, you see the wicked is not a man you can trust. You see the wicked, you have worked for him. Now he has turned around to kill you. That is the kind of.
But should that deter a government that is determined to bring peace to
That
its,
is to
its people?
That is to no.
A government that is conscious of its role.
You must take cognizance of the characters involved. The governor, that may not have any effect on him. But what about the target audience? you have a people you are targeting. These are the people who may not be as enlightened as you and I. And you come to tell them, look, they used you. But mind you, I have said something here. These things didn't start with Wike. This thing has started long ago. And successive governments have been dealing with it.
Okay, because I also like to give you the chance to also speak on the positives.
Yeah.
What the government is doing and what to expect the people to also do on their part as citizens. But quickly on this issue of amnesty, beyond these people surrendering their arms and ammunition, what in turn did the governor or the government promise? Because the previous amnesties we saw, it was not just people surrendering. People were then mocked up into a gainful
so
employment.
that I don't take some of your time. I wouldn't mind.
It's not time.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind dropping this.
Okay.
Because some of it's a full package.
Yeah, just talk about one or two.
Government.
The incentives that the government.
Yes.
The government
what government said is this.
Those
who
22,000 who voluntarily
first.
Yes.
If you turn a new leaf, we grant you pardon. Probably from previous activities, criminal activities. 1. 2, you must identify what you intend to do with your life, and government will be willing to provide the enabling environment. So government, if you read this now, you see the what government has done.
That's why I want you to, because like the point I was trying to make before was that amnesty is not new in Rivers State. In actual fact, the Rivers State government started the amnesty program before the government of Yar'Adua latched onto it. I know that the Rivers State government, as at that time, under Rotimi Amechi, actually started the amnesty program, then under the leadership of Chief A.K. Osfo. Yes, and I know that those people who voluntarily surrendered their arms were either those who needed employment were given employment, those who didn't have skill and had the potentials of developing skills. Some were sent to school to acquire skills for gainful employment in the downstream sector. Some are underwater welders today. Some even were sent out of to South Africa to learn flying and all of that. That's why I asked you whether beyond surrendering, what is it that the governor promised them?
Governor promised to rehabilitate them.
Okay. Is that happening?
Yes, it's a process.
Okay.
It's a process. It's a process. It's part of the achievement of this government. It's a process. And we can see the signs of the gains we have made so far. Economic-wise. A lot of things you used to hear, so place had been, all pipeline had been vandalized and all those things. At least you can attest to the fact that that is no longer what we hear every day. It's no longer. Let me tell you, there is no society in the whole world that can say that it is completely immune from criminal acts.
Yeah.
Not one. Yeah. Not one.
What is different is the attitude of government.
Yes. So you will agree with me that the government is doing well. I have also challenged you. You go and verify. I've said this government has donated, in concrete terms, 200 Hilux cars, 10 gunboats, and is providing all the enabling environment.
Let me read something somebody just said. He says, I am watching with an ex-militant from Rivers who was trained abroad under amnesty and working in Abuja. He is laughing at this. Well, I call you some names, but I don't want to use that. And somebody say, Emoha is the den of kidnapping and insecurity in Rivers State. Please ask Honourable Samuel Ogeh about the Rivers State budget and its content. Okay, well, I don't want to take you back. Let me just allow you the opportunity of talking about the positives. What is it that, because it's 2 years already of the present administration, what can you point to quickly as achievements, and what do people of Rivers State look forward to in the next 2 years under the
let me say, Benga, well, if you ask me so far, achievement of Governor Wike within 2 years, I will tell you, or I will score him an A.
A?
Yes, considering the economic realities. Benga, I like comparing similar things.
Apple with apple.
Yes, I like comparing similar things. Wike is just 2 years in office. I hear somebody came here, and my predecessor came here, and said Wike has received over 150 billion. I'm not sure of this. You will know. Now, in 2 years, Benga, I want to tell you that that is just 1/3 of what the previous administration received in 1 year. This document I came here with, Amechi re-election 2011, where they captured the achievements of the former governor. Page 3 of this document, I speak with facts, says that from January to December 2008, he received
January to December
2008.
Yeah.
He received 333 million.
Million or billion?
Billion from FAC. It's here. Look at it. It's here. It's here. I didn't write it. It's here. And this government in 2 years had received less than half of that. And we were able to see what that money had been used for. There is one thing nobody can take away from this government, and that thing is prudent allocation of scarce resources. Yes, we use, this administration use the little accruing to it to at least embark on structure that will have positive effect on the citizen. And I'm sure that if Wike had had up to 200 million naira in 1 year, 200 billion naira in 1 year, that the story would have changed by far. But what we are talking about is, if you divide 150 into 2, the meaning of it is that Wike got less than 75 billion naira. And we, okay, let me take it to my own LGA, local government.
Yeah.
Part of what led people to begin to criticize Wike is that, look, this is a government that nobody gave any chance of succeeding. And to their utter dismay and disappointment, the government is doing well. The former governor, in all honesty, came on air to say that as Wike is coming, that he wouldn't have money to pay salaries. It was not mere talk. This administration, ab initio, was ambushed to fail and was ambushed. A lot of booby traps set for it to fail. One of such booby traps is that the immediate past administration left a pile of debt, even in the face of the money it was receiving. I can also give you a rundown. I have a document here, Benga, that outline how much in debt the last administration left behind. Over only loan alone from Zenith Bank, yeah, a standing loan, 23 billion naira loan, 23.266 from Zenith Bank, yeah, on loan. They didn't stop at that. They collected another 2 billion naira agric loan. That is 25 billion naira on loan alone. Now, in salary arrears, they left over 14 billion naira. Considering the government as at then, the allocation was accruing to the state as at then. Civil servants, pensioners were owed about 6.9 billion. On record. Staff salaries are over 1.something billion. So if you put that alone, salaries in arrears, pension, salary arrears 8 million, pension more than 8 million again, 8 billion again. Yeah. And this is a government that the best, the highest it has got is in the neighborhood of 7 billion every month as allocation, with a salary bill of almost 7 billion naira.
Monthly?
Yes, it's verifiable. And you ask a question, how has he been managing? So if you understand some of these dynamics, won't you make bold to say that this man had been able to manage the meager resources at his disposal? Now let me tell you another event that characterized the previous administration. That is a government that will award contracts, pay upfront, pay 100%, and the contract will still be at 20%. I'll give you one instance. There was a contract in my constituency. Let me give you 3 cases. In my constituency.
You need to be fast.
Yes, in my constituency.
We're running out of time.
Egbeda Omreli Road was awarded to a company owned by Chidi Julius Lloyd, the man who left here, and who tried to impugn the integrity of some other persons. That job was at the cost of initially 1.1 billion, and I'm telling you, and a variation of another, and asked for a variation of 300 million naira, 100% paid, and the records available to us is that he only did 25% of that job.
And what has the state government done?
We are coming. If somebody, I have raised it now.
Yeah, no, I mean, beyond talking.
No,
because if it is true, a responsible state government should go beyond using it as propaganda, but act concretely working.
We don't thrive on our administration don't thrive on propaganda. We state the facts.
Yeah. And then what happened after that?
This is a man
because
who is standing. This is a man who is standing trial. Who is supposed to stand trial, and he's running away from it. You know that.
The Attorney General at that time entered a nolle. If you are a lawyer, no court can question a nolle once it is entered. Not even the Supreme Court. According to
with the professor, a nolle. You are a lawyer.
Has no proviso.
Let me tell you, a nolle is not a bar from prosecution.
It is.
A nolle is only a discharge and not an acquittal.
No, that's not what the Supreme Court.
That is what the law is. A nolle is merely a discharge.
So what is the state government doing about that? If you are
the matter is in court. I will tell you. Okay. If he says he doesn't know, I will tell him today. The matter is before the chief judge of the state. With suit number PHC 600CR/2016. He's been evading this thing. And let me also tell you.
We have to run up now.
Good.
We have just 2-3 seconds to do that.
We have 2 other jobs in my location. And the same person, Honourable Chidi Lloyd,
yes.
the same person, Honourable Chidi Lloyd, came here to tell you, before the Nigerian populace, that what happened on the floor of the house, where he attempted murder on his brother, was a collision. How do you take such people serious, Benga?
All right, let's leave it there.
How do you take such people serious?
Honourable, okay, let's just leave it there. One just quick question. Amechi and Wike are brothers. People like you have a responsibility to reconcile them for the betterment of the state. Because if 2 brothers are working together, even when they are in opposition, it is to the betterment of the state. Rather than fuel it, what are people like you doing?
No, let me answer the question.
I don't need long.
No, let me answer that question. The only advice I want to give is first to the former governor, who I have very high respect for. The advice I want to give to him is that he should see himself as a former governor and respect that office. Whether by providence he was qualified or not to be there, he was there. He served his full 8 years. He must see himself, he must begin to see himself as a former governor.
Okay.
And not as any other person. To dabble into matters that does not necessarily...
What if his so-called legacies are about to be trampled or eroded?
What are the legacies?
Wike is part of his legacy.
Who is trampling on...
That's what... okay, let's leave it there. Should we? Thank you so much. Honourable Samuel Ogeh is a member representing Emoha State constituency of Rivers State. He is a chairman of the Rivers State House of Assembly Committee on Information. So he is the spokesman to the House. Also former caretaker committee chairman in Emoha local government as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, that's Focus Nigeria. Incidentally, is the last edition for the week. So time to take some deserved rest. Enjoy the weekend break. Do everything in moderation so that we can reunite again as well.